Let's talk about joint control and why it matters. For example, the way we test everybody's joints here at 100 Year Athlete is through CARs. So if I ask you to do a hip CAR, I'm going to ask you to build tension through your whole system and then only move from the hip and do the biggest circle you possibly can all the way up and then rewind it and go all the way back the other way. What that looks like from the side, I'm going to build tension through the body, big circle around, just moving from that hip, going the other way, just moving from the hip. Now, the reason we care is if you don't have individual control and awareness of all of the joints in your body, when you're doing something cool, such as mountain biking, trail running, playing tennis, playing golf, working out, snow skiing, snowboarding, whatever it is you do for fun, it doesn't matter the activity. If you can't control your joints effectively when we're just standing in one spot trying to only move the hip, you're not going to be able to use that joint as effectively as you could when you're doing something cool. And why do we care about that? Well, if I ask you to move just from your hip and I see this, that, and I'm exaggerating here, but you'd be surprised at where you're at with it and where you'll see other people versus I only want you to move from the hip, Ben, and then I still get this. So I'm moving from all over the place as opposed to just moving that hip. That's really good control of the hip on the second example. The first example, what I'm seeing is there's no true awareness of where your hip is and what your hip does. It's coupling with your spine. It's coupling with your thoracic spine, your neck. We're getting the abs to come into play. And when that happens in a very simple environment, it's exaggerated as we add complexity. Snow skiing, mountain biking, much more complex environments than just standing in a room and doing a circle or a car, controlled articular rotation with your hip. So if you learn how to create awareness of the hip joint and then we start to strengthen the hip joint, now you're going to be able to apply that strength to whatever your sport is, whatever your activity is. What we see all the time in here is people have been to PT, they've been to the chiropractor, and they're told your glutes don't turn on. And then we look at them and they got a booty. That means your glutes do turn on. What's actually happening is you don't know how to use that strength and apply control over that joint and that tissue in that area when you're doing your sport, and that leads to your low back doing hip stuff when you're on your mountain bike or when you're on your skis. So the fix for that is first build awareness in the gym of where is the hip. So Ben, I only want you to move the hip, and we get to the point where you can really control the hip in here. And then we're going to add complexity, and teach you how to use that awareness, that control, and that strength that we build in your sport. And that's going to change how you feel, how you play, and it's going to be a really good thing for you.